Okay, folks, just a really quick rundown on using QGIS to digitize your areas of terracing and for the training data. And so this is QGIS already open here. If you don't have it, install it and get to know it. You'll get to know the interface pretty quickly. There's lots of good online videos. You can go onto YouTube and go like QGIS for absolute beginners and stuff like that, and you'll find lots of like getting started with QGIS. But I've built this so that you don't have to do too much on the front end in terms of basic understanding of what we're up to. So, as I mentioned in class, you've got your layer panel over here and browser panel up here. The layer panel is what's in the map document that you will open, and then what you want to do is highlight the layer that you want to edit, and you'll see we've got districts, survey areas, and LCLU classes, UTM. That's the main polygon layer we're going to be editing, and then the imagery underneath. And the order it appears here is the order top to bottom that it's drawn on the map, right? So this stuff up here overlays the imagery underneath, just like you see, right? So, okay, so let me just, the district's UTM is actually the survey areas for three of you guys, Anna, Tom, and Jenny, and I'll add Stefano on here as well. You'll be over here, Stefano. And what these are district boundaries. So the areas are huge, but we're mostly concerned with this area down here, right? So they're all pretty much the same size in terms of the area that each of you are going to be focusing on. And these are literally the political boundaries between the villages today, and they make handy boundaries for area coverage. So I'll toggle this off so that it's not in the way right now, but that's that, okay? So you're going to stay within your area, and you can start towards maybe a middle edge between them so that we get more or less contiguous coverage. So I'm zooming in with this tool here, the magnifying glass, or you can use the pan tool, which is like a little hand, and if you scroll with the mouse, scrolling away from you scrolls in, and scrolling back towards you scrolls out. And wherever you put the mouse, it sort of becomes the center of the zooming, so you can kind of pan around too with it. Okay, so all right, so let's say we want to put a new polygon of a terrace complex in here. I can go over here, let's say. Now, I'm not going to actually do a real one because it'll take too long, but these are the steps, right? So actually, let me toggle this off. So whatever layer is highlighted here is what is active in terms of editing, right? So if I highlighted this and I hit the pencil on our editing toolbar, which I can dock here, it'll probably be docked when you first install it. So if I toggle here, it's going to turn this layer on for editing. And you're going to see there's a little tiny little pencil icon there saying that this is open for editing. Okay. So then I want to, and that also activates, so if I toggle it off, this stuff all grays out here in the editing toolbar. So I'll toggle it back on, and then I want to create or add a polygon feature, right? So then I'm going to select that tool, bring it down here. I'm just going to do a junk polygon, and now I'm going to right click, and it's going to complete that polygon, and up pops our attribute table, or our attribute form, right? So I've got bench terraces, broad field terraces. Bench terraces are the contour terraces that are narrow. Broad field terraces are usually towards the bottom of the slope. They're a little wider. Valley bottom fields are like these things out here, right? Very, very flat areas. And then segmented terraces are unirrigated abandoned systems that are up on the upper slopes. I can help you identify those. Sloping fields are unterraced or minimally terraced fields in the uplands as well. And then uncultivated grasslands we don't need because that's just going to be in the other category. However, this other thing here is for stuff that you don't know about that you want to take notes on and use the notes field later. So I'm going to select that here just to show you how to do that. So I'm going to put a confidence here of like low confidence because I'm not sure what it is supposedly. And then my use state is going to be abandoned in antiquity or it's abandoned recently, etc. Okay, so and then I'm going to put a note here. I'm going to say this is, I'm just making this up, but could be sloping fields, not sure. And that's just to flag it so we know what to talk about later. Recorder is your name, and then the date will auto-populate like that. Okay, it's not taking my name. Put somebody else's name. I'm not sure why it's doing that. Okay, and then I'll put the date here and press OK. Okay, so there's our polygon. That's that. Let's say I don't like the shape of it for whatever reason. Then I can get our node tool, or vertex tool they call it. And when I go near the edge, it highlights like this. And if I click once, left click, it'll give me control over it like this. So I can move it, and if I left click again, it'll place it wherever that crosshairs is. Right? If I want to delete a vertex, I can click once on it and just press delete. If I want to add a vertex, I highlight a segment like this. See the little plus sign? I left click on it and drag it around, and when I click again, it'll drop it wherever I put it. You get a feel for this. Okay, so I'm going to add to it. You can kind of click anywhere on the line, actually. You don't have to be in the middle, but okay, so I just changed the shape. Okay, and to make these changes stick, I need to either hit toggle editing, and it'll ask me, do you want to save the changes? And I'll say yes. In this case, I'm going to discard them because it's not data we want, obviously. And that is pretty much it in a nutshell. If you want to delete a whole feature that you create, let me toggle this and I'll do another junk polygon. Let's say for whatever reason you want to delete a whole polygon. So here we go. Just going to put in some junk data here just so we can get past this. Okay. So let's say I want to delete this whole thing. I can go up here to selection tool, select features by area or single click. Select the whole thing. I just clicked once inside of it and I hit delete. That got rid of the whole thing. We got an edit session open so I can delete things. Right? If I didn't have an edit session open, I wouldn't be able to delete that. Okay. So that's that. I'm not going to save my changes because I didn't do anything worthwhile. But most of the time you're going to hit save. And so what that does is it saves any changes that you made to this layer, which resides in a database on the SARL server, okay, what's called the PostGIS database. And so each of you can be editing in each of your areas at the same time, and the database manages that and puts it all in the same place. That's it in a nutshell. When I get the layer for the buildings, like you can see there are buildings in this, for what we'll call structures, that'll just be a point, and it's just literally putting a point, and there'll be a brief attribute form that'll pop up for that, but it's just one click instead of multiple clicks. So it's really much easier, but we'll get to that next. I think that's pretty much it. At the end of your session, make sure you save your map document, and that just saves the whole document, but it doesn't. That's independent of saving these data sources. So make sure you don't have any edit sessions open, and when you close the program, it'll give you a warning if you have an edit session open. It'll ask you, do you want to save your edits? And if you say yes, it'll save your edits and then close the edit session automatically when the program closes. Okay, that's it for now.